Hey folks, how you doing? Um, I'm here in the office preparing for what we like to call a 911 service. That's a service that's not normally on our weekly schedule, but it's something we call together, and the people of God come together. And um, I just want to share a thought with you. Um, when someone does you wrong, you ought to forgive them. The Word of God tells us we should forgive each other. It was the Apostle Peter who said to Jesus, Lord, how often should we forgive our brothers? 7 times a day? And Jesus said, no, 7 times 70 a day. I've added that up once, and it's 490 times I can trespass against you, and you should forgive me. We know that's almost impossible in the time that we live in. But what's bothering me is that people can do and say and treat you any kind of way that they want, and commit any kind of sin or any kind of discretion they want against you. But the moment you do something towards them or against them, or the moment their feelings are hurt, or their situation is upset, they want the whole world to stop and to comfort them, to make them feel better, to smooth over their situations, and justify themselves not forgiving their brother or sister who has trespassed against us. The Word tells us in the Lord's Prayer, the model prayer says, and forgive our trespass as we forgive those who trespass against us. Are we forgiving our brothers and sisters? Are we forgiving family members? Do we forgive our husbands? Do we forgive our wives? Do we forgive our children? Do we forgive our best friends, our bosses? Do we really honestly, and do we have the spirit of forgiveness on the inside? It bothers me so much how people can judge others. And the worst part about it, you can judge me for something that you're doing. You're doing the same thing that you're pointing your fingers at against me or towards me about. The same sin I commit, so-called sin I commit, or what I've done, you did the same thing, but you forgot about when you did it. You forgot about the mercy of God that was shown on your life when you committed fornication or adultery, or you lied, or you mistreated somebody, or you did someone wrong. You forgot that. But how about the Word says, if you don't forgive your brother, your Father which is in heaven won't forgive you. Beloveds, we got to stop this judging thing. Anybody that's been around me for the last few years, I can't judge anybody anymore. I don't have that authority. I don't have that power. I don't have that right. Matthew 7, first few verses in the 7th chapter says, judge not so that you won't be judged. I'm paraphrasing, and it says, for the same judgment you judge others is going to be met unto you. And it says, why do you behold the mote or the small thing that's in thy brother's eye, and you got that great big old beam in your eye? It says, first take the beam out of your eye before you can judge anybody else. But I got a revelation a while back that when Jesus was on the cross, there was 2 thieves, one on the left and one on the right. And the Word said, one of them said, if you be the Son of God, save us and save yourself. But the other one had enough wisdom to know that he was a sinner. He had enough wisdom to know that he was a thief. He had enough sense to know that the punishment that he was receiving was worth it. And he simply said to the Lord, he said, Lord, I am an unjust man. I'm not right, God. I do deserve the punishment that I'm receiving. All I want you to do is to remember me when you get into your kingdom. Just remember me. And at that split second, he had a change of heart. And because he had a change of heart, he had a repentant heart. He had a sorrowful heart. He had asked for forgiveness. Jesus said to him, this day shall you be with me in paradise. Now, I have a question for you. Did he have opportunity or chance to say the sinner's prayer? Did he have opportunity or chance to go to the new members class? No, he didn't. At that very split second, because of a change of heart, because of a repentant heart, because he asked for forgiveness, Jesus forgave him of his sins, and that day he lived with him, and he will be with the Lord forever. Somebody's out there listening to me. You know you haven't forgiven your brother. You haven't forgiven your sister. You haven't forgiven your husband. You haven't forgiven your wife. You say you have. You know the old saying, I'll forgive you, but I won't forget. Well, if you didn't forget it, guess what? You haven't really forgiven. I don't care how you put it, how you clean it up, how you try to make it right. If you don't forget it, if you don't let it go, if you don't move on, if every time you see that person something rises up in you, if every time you smell a certain smell or somebody push a particular button, you start going off, you have not forgiven the way that you were supposed to forgive. And guess what, beloved? That will cause you to lose out. It will cause you to miss out, because you'll become bitter, you'll become angry, and then later on it'll turn into hatred. There's nobody on this earth worth us hating. There's nobody on this earth worth you missing God for. Not everyone is going to enjoy this particular video, but it's for those of you that know what I'm talking about deep down in your heart. You know someone's done you wrong, and you're holding unforgiveness in your heart towards them. Beloved, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Forgiveness is forgiving. If you don't forgive your brother, your Father which is in heaven will not forgive you. What are you going to be, forgiven, or are you going to be judged? The choice is up to you.